here's the thing that I am unhappy about, Jamie. And I said on Twitter, there's a play that has me on tilt, and I'm still upset about it. Okay, and I'm gonna bring it up. We can't do the thing because we'll get in trouble with the copyright and all that stuff. All right. So here's the play. Okay. This is a play. I'm gonna put us on the bottom to make the play bigger. All right. So it's a zone read type situation where you can give it, they motion out Mayer, and they run bubble with Styles, and he hangs here. Jaden Thomas blocks this man. Mayer blocks this man. This guy moves out a little bit for the motion, right? And so right here, you have 5 blocking. This is 7. If you want to consider him leaving the box because of Mayer, he only moves over a couple steps.
Yeah.
So that's 5 on 6 at least, right? Drew Pine, smart kid. Drew Pine knows how to count, right? So look, block. They're at the numbers. Okay, so here, go, Jimmy, go.
And I know this is. Oh no, you finish and then I'll go. You finish. Sorry.
So what I'm saying is, this player is, first of all, it's a still photo, so you can't tell, but he's moving back towards the line of scrimmage here. Okay, Now Pine's just given it, so it's not like he is actually can actually see this. He can't react that quickly. Get it out here. Go down the sideline. These are free yards. Even if it's not a huge play. Even if it's not a huge play, you're still going to get 6 or 7. 6, 7, 8 yards. They're free. They just give them to you. And we've been talking about this for 3 years. Okay, we talked about it when we've been at the show, and then we've talked about it privately before I was working with ISD, and you would say, like, where's the RPO game? Where's the RPO game? And here we are still talking about RPO game. We are still talking about this. What were you going to say before
I was going to say that I don't think this is on Tommy Rees here. I think this is on Drew Pine because I think it's built in. And
I think it is too, because here's the thing. We don't know if it's actually like a live.
We don't know if it's a call RPO. Or if he has the, but if you look at, say, like this actually like specific play, I believe is like pretty much the exact one that, or close to it. The one that like Styles, they ran against USC last year, right? That RPO. And that was one thing. That's one thing they did last year. Cone was really good with the RPO game last year. And he'd throw probably like, I think towards the back half of last year, when I was charting it too. So it was like, I want to say like 8 to 10 times a game, he'd pull and throw on RPOs.
Yeah.
So, and they did in this game, right? They took some of those free access.
They took a couple ones, right? with Styles and one with Lindsey as well.
But this is an obvious one. And not only is it an obvious one to throw, but like you said, it's free yards. But with Lorenzo Styles, like literally last year, the guy had like a 29-yard gain and like a 41-yard gain off of this type of play, where just all you did is throw it out to him and all he did is have to just go like just turn on the turbo button and go, right? So I think that is built in. But we don't know for sure because maybe they just say, okay, here's the call. We're running this to kind of keep the defense honest, but we want to run the ball here.
Right.
But it really seems like an obvious pull to do this.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say maybe they're just like, we're not throwing it because we want them to always think it's run. And then all of a sudden we're going to break that out in these next 2 weeks or whatever. Right. And then all of this, that's how you kind of get teams. You can, because of tendency or whatever, but it doesn't really make sense because it just seems like it should be automatic every single time.
And the thing that makes me upset is that maybe it is a Pine mistake, right? He shouldn't be making this kind of mistake. It's counting. It's counting.
Yes.
He knows how to count. And he knows how to, and you can't tell me that he can't get this ball out. You can't tell me he can't get a ball out. And to me, the first thing that every player, every quarterback should do when they come in, freshman year. Drew Pine is a early enrollee. Okay. Tyler Buckner, early enrollee. Steve Angeli, early enrollee. They're sitting behind guys. Hey, we're working on RPOs with you. You will be good at this. The first thing you will be good at as the quarterback of Notre Dame is RPOs, when to pull it, when to run it, when to do, what the numbers dictate you do. And we're going to do it over and over again, because if you ever need to come in the game, we're doing this stuff. Because you don't have to just do it this way. There's a lot of ways to do RPOs, right? You can run the same play over and over again, but you can pull it, you can run it yourself, or you can throw it out or give it to the running back.
You can run slants. Like you can
do
ways,
all sorts of things. And all you have to be able to do is count. And it doesn't have to be a deep playbook. And Notre Dame has as a struggling quarterback with the downfield throws and all these other things, that it's like, you look at it, it's like, man, if he would just hit it. But right now he's not hitting it. And we don't have this to the point where it's like we can count on it in a moment to where it's like, we're going to move the ball this way. We need to build his confidence. We need to get a rhythm going, and we need to get people out of the box. We need to get people out of here. We cannot be – there's no need to be running into an uneven front. Now, granted, Notre Dame is doing pretty well with that, right? The offensive line is playing well enough to where it's not prohibitive to them. But then you get bogged down, and you get to the point where it's like, okay, we can't move the ball in the red zone. And when we're trying to throw these quick passes that are getting knocked down at the line of scrimmage. So this throw over here has no risk of getting knocked down by the defensive lineman, because you're throwing it laterally. And it frustrates me that we cannot rely on this in moments where it's like, you know what, we're scuffling, because like, you look at Michigan, they do this stuff all the time. They pull or they throw, and it's like, that is the base of their offense, and then they build off of that. Like right now, like, did we see this action from Notre Dame ever again in this game? I don't think we did.
No,
I don't think we did. That we saw RPOs, but we didn't see this particular action.
You didn't see this.
And so if Pine made a mistake, then go back to it and say, hey, count him up, throw it out there. So that's where my frustration is.
Man, Eastside Irish, man, you're all over the map, man. This guy just came here just to rip on everybody. I mean, just go at it, man. Have a day. I just think that, like, with that kind of stuff, one, they're easy completions. Yes. So you want to get some of those completion numbers up. That's how you do it. One, the other thing, free yards. It's free yards a lot of the time.
Just take it.
And I just think, like, so, I mean, you can't, I mean, there's obviously, I think Notre Dame, what they do with play action, I mean, obviously they're effective with it, because you look at, like, Pine and Buckner's numbers and how much better they are running play action than they are, running, straight dropbacks, conventional dropbacks. But, like, this kind of gets added into it too, because you just add in this element to it. So, like, I was just looking at, like, PFF's, thing. And obviously some of this is just like it's wild. I don't ever see this happening for Notre Dame, because these are different kind of offenses. But, like, Hendon Hooker on Tennessee is literally 57% of his dropbacks are play action. It's because there's a lot of this kind of stuff.
There's a lot of the RPO game.
Yeah, built in, right? And, I don't think, I think that is obviously extreme. Like Jackson Dart, 64%, which is insane. But that is how Lane Kiffin, that's what they do, right? Caleb Williams, 45%, right? He's the fifth most out of anyone. But, like, Notre Dame doesn't have to be 40%. They don't have to be 40% play action. I think 35% is, like, pretty fair. And that you just get to that extra percentage by just throwing these, really, and just throwing those kind of things. And I'm not sure. I've never been sure why they didn't do it, but I think about this a lot with everyone remembers that 2017 team that ran the ball extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
And, clearly they had a good offensive line. They won the Joe Moore Award, right? And, like Quentin Nelson was like teabagging guys. He was destroying them. Right. Mike McGlinchey is a great player, right? Like they had a really good, Musfer starts in the NFL, Bars in the NFL, right? Like it's a good line, right? But if you look at where they had a lot of success and like Josh Adams breaking a lot of stuff, there's a lot of that stuff was like scheme, but in terms of like they're running against light boxes, teams were, because Chip Long, they were worried about the RPO.
They would get it outside all the time.
They were worried about the RPO. And then eventually, like it became because Brandon Williams was scared to kind of throw those because he was struggling with them. Mm-hmm. But if you recall that NC State game, he had Josh Adams has like an 80-yard run. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what? Like, how does that even happen? It literally was like a straight dive play. They spread everybody out and made it look like, hey, there's the potential to throw this outside. He literally they had numbers. They just blocked it straight up and he ran straight down the field 80 yards. And yeah, obviously that's just like an extreme example of you're not going to get that look every time. But it is an example too, how when you do that enough, then that opens up other pieces of the running game too. And so you look at all this stuff that's congested with what they're doing with the running game right now too, where it's like, it's really hard to like, obviously when they outnumber you, even if you block it up good and your guys are, breaking tackles, it's really hard to break one. It's really hard to break one because they just have more guys than you. Right. And when you do that and you force numbers outside because of that RPO game, I mean, that's offense. Offense is counting. It's right. Like, where do I have an advantage, right? Like, oh, we got a 2-on-1 here, or we got even numbers here. Like, we got odd numbers here, so we can't do that. Like, that's how it works. That's literally like, as advanced you can get with scheme and some of that stuff, you can really take it back to how simple it is. And I think they need to be a little bit more simple with that stuff.